Good evening, fellow Toastmasters from Region 10 and District 71. My name is Linda Devlin, and on behalf of the District 71 PR team, I'm delighted to extend a warm welcome to you all here this evening. So tonight we also have a Zoom watch room, which is very exciting as well. So there'll be a Q&A session after the presentation, and all will be invited to join there. So as part of the team helping Toastmasters communicate with confidence, creativity, and impact, the PR team is delighted. This is the first in a series of masterclasses that we're offering across to the VPPOs across the district. So tonight we're absolutely thrilled to have Kajadan Barreto demonstrate a masterclass in Canva. So Kajadan is our guru in the Canva cycle. So please help me welcome Kajadan to the stage. Thank you, Kajadan.
Thank you, Linda, so much for that warm welcome. And hello, District 71, and all of you all who are joining us today for this workshop on Canva Essentials. We are doing something interesting today because I see that we are using StreamYard, that is streamed live on YouTube. So the audience on YouTube, please feel free to be part of this interactive workshop. Whatever you see, type in the comments in YouTube. I should be able to see them right here in StreamYard. And I will be able to address your questions if you have any. This being a Canva Essentials, I want to keep it very simple today and target my workshop for people who are not familiar with Canva. Those of you who are experts, maybe you can find still a couple of tips, but generally I'll keep it very simple, aiming at those new VPPRs who have just joined the club and taken up this new responsibility and trying to figure out what's the best way I can create PR content for my club. How can I create content that is good, attractive, and most importantly, that is brand compliant? So these are the three things that I will be trying to focus on today. To start with, let me just share some of the key points that I want to cover. That is how to keep it as simple as possible. Brand compliance, of course, is very important. So anything that we create, how can we ensure that we stay brand compliant? Canva, if you're using, some of you all must be using free account, some of you might be using pro account. I'll highlight the differences. Please note, I'm not an ambassador for Canva. I'm not here to make you buy the pro account, but just want to highlight to you, if you use a pro account, what could be the benefits you'll get from there? And what are the options that you have to get a pro account? Maybe from district, maybe from nonprofit Canva. And finally, once you create the content, what's the best way to share it? And nowadays, everybody keeps asking me, Kajitan, what about AI? So I will touch upon some of the aspects of Canva AI, though I do conduct specific workshops only on AI, but still, since Canva themselves are investing so much on AI, it is important for us to understand what have they done so far. So that's what I'm planning to cover today. So let's start with Canva. And I'll do that by sharing my screen. So when you log into Canva, it can be quite daunting because 5-6 years ago, when I was delivering these workshops on Canva, and Canva was very new, it had only one purpose: how to create posters, flyers as quickly as possible and as easily as possible. But over the years, Canva became very popular and they started adding more and more features. So today, if I see on top of my screen here, you can create flyers, obviously, but now you can create videos, you can create documents like Microsoft Word, you can create Excel, like Excel sheets, entire sheets in Canva, and you can create website, and you can create lots more. I'm not going to cover all of this. That would take several days, I guess. But our objective, as I said, is Canva Essentials. How can I use this interface to create posters as quickly as possible? And the way I would suggest newcomers start is, if you were to create something from scratch, if you click on the left-hand side and say create, and let's say you decide to create a Instagram post, it will give you a blank screen. And for somebody who hasn't created flyers before, it can become very frustrating. What next? What do I put here, right? And so instead of that, my suggestion is, whenever you want to create something and you are on this main screen, start with templates. Templates is a great place for a beginner to start, because Canva literally has millions of templates for you to get inspiration. It says here, search millions of templates. That can also be quite frustrating. What template do I search for? Since we are creating Toastmaster content, let's say I want to create a flyer for a meeting, the best way to do is just search for meeting. Okay. Then what are our meetings about? I could say maybe meetings on communication, right? Use some of the words that are familiar in Toastmasters, communication, networking, and see what kind of templates we can get. And you'll get hundreds and thousands of these templates. And the way I would suggest you do is start by looking at something that looks like what you are planning to do. It won't be exactly the same. It won't be brand compliant, but it's a good start. Let's say I am focusing on creating a meeting flyer that will, let's say, focus on the Toastmaster of the day. So this, in my opinion, would be a good place to start, because I want to create something like that, showing a person and maybe highlighting some key benefits of joining this meeting. And if I want to do that, I will select this template by clicking on it and customize this template. Alternatively, you can scroll down and it will give you other templates that are similar to this. Right? So here is a template where maybe I want to focus on the Toastmaster of the day and 3 speakers. Then this would be a good place to start. So you can just browse through them and find something that is inspiring you, rather than creating everything from scratch. Since I had selected the main template here, I will start with this. Now, the first thing you will notice is, of course, it's a nice looking flyer. We can start modifying it by putting a club name, putting a logo, and putting, let's say, meeting specific information. But the first thing we need to address in here is the branding, because this was not meant for Toastmasters. It's just a general flyer on a meeting, networking, right? So here there is a picture of a group that looks similar like a Toastmasters meeting, by the way. And you could keep it exactly as it is. It is brand compliant as far as I'm concerned. Or you could replace it with your own club photo. You could replace this photo with maybe the person who is going to be the Toastmaster of the day, or whatever you want to focus on. So here I see a couple of things. The first is the color. And the color, of course, is we have to look at one of the brand compliant colors. So let's start with the first box. You can see that this is the shape, and it is yellow, but it is not brand compliant yellow. So all I have to do is click on this color on top here and choose one of the Toastmaster brand compliant colors. And you notice that all the colors of Toastmasters are right here. That's because I'm using a pro account, and in the pro account, we can set up the brand colors right in what we call a kit, brand kit. So I would just change it to the happy yellow, which is here. And now this is brand compliant. Next, I have this blue shape kind of thing here. I can click again on the color and change it to loyal blue. And the same would apply to the bottom part, where maybe I will use the true maroon color. Oh, this is a different shape, sorry. This one. I will make it true maroon and then move my, so these are all shapes that are inserted by the design. And sorry, give me a second. Yeah, I'll move it here and move this here. And our colors are brand compliant. Mostly, there are some font colors that are not truly brand compliant, like this event. I could make it by clicking on this text color. I could make it, let's say, maroon. And this is the club name. And then here we could type some details. The idea of what I'm trying to show you is that instead of starting from scratch, take one of the templates and then just modify it to give you the same feeling. So for example, I want to replace this photo with an actual photo of a club member. So I'll remove it. And how do we upload photos? In Canva, we have on the left-hand side something called uploads. Uploads is where you can upload any photo from your computer. And if you have previously uploaded, you will find them here. So let me click on upload. So these are some of the photos that I had previously uploaded. But if I want to upload a new file, I just click on upload files on top, find the right file from my computer, and then it will appear here. Right, so so let me take one of the existing photos like this. Now, of course, the first thing that I need to do with this photo is it has a background. And in Canva, especially if you're using a Canva Pro account, removing this background is as simple as clicking on this button here called Background Remover. And when you do that, it will remove the background with a click of a button. And all I have to do is now resize it by looking at this picture, moving it around and making it big or small, and then placing it correctly on the poster. Right? You will notice now this picture is blocking the other picture, which is at the bottom. And the reason is because there are two images, one on top of the other. So what I want to do is I want to take this image and move it backwards. And I can do that by clicking on position, which I can find here. And on the left-hand side, I'll get these various options: forward, backward, front, tab. So what I want to do is I want to move it backwards. And there it goes behind, right? Then I can just move it around a bit. Similarly, you have a brand compliant kind of poster, a photo already in the poster, right? Showing how in a club meeting, people are networking or giving speeches. So this is actually a perfect example. But if you wanted to replace it with one of your own photos, you can click on that picture, remove it by clicking on the delete button, and then find from your uploads a suitable photo and put it there. Sorry, like this. A nice image of your club member, and now you can start editing the text. What are the benefits of Toastmasters? You could put 1, 2, 3. You can put the details. You can put your Zoom ID, Zoom password, so people can join here. And of course, the most important part is the logo. Similarly, just like any other picture, you would probably have uploaded the logo in your uploads. Alternatively, you can create, especially if you're using a Canva account, a pro account, you can have your own brand kit. So if you click on the brand, you see that you can upload all your brand assets, like your logo, then you can define all the colors that you want to use here, the fonts that will be used, and the photos. So these are actually all the photos provided by Toastmasters International, right? They're available on the Toastmasters website. But for ease of use, you can put them in your brand kit. Photos, colors, fonts, logos, including the brand voice. As we know, Toastmasters, the brand voice is warm, clear, friendly, professional. So whenever you're typing some text, you can tell Canva, can you rephrase this using the Toastmasters brand voice, right? So this is the brand assets. So as I was talking about, you can find all the logos here and then insert the right logo in your poster, move it around, resize it, place it in the right place, and your flyer is ready. Of course, you have to change all the text. I'm not going to sit and type all the text, but you get the idea, right? You can simply get an idea, a design idea from one of the thousands of templates that are available for you in Canva. Open one of them and then modify them to be brand compliant, and then replace the text, the photos, and within a short period of time, you have a beautiful flyer that you can publish. So there is a question, is there a way to import a brand kit from someone who has already done the hard work? Well, very interesting question, because somebody has sat down and created all these assets, right? This logos, they have collected them, the fonts, and to create it takes a lot of time. Can you share it? As of now, the only way I know how to share it is if you are using a team account. So in this case, what you are seeing is I had created it as a team account, and I have a team of around 10 people who use the pro account. And so then I can make it visible or available to the entire team, so that entire team works within those brand guidelines. But I haven't found a way to export it at least I haven't invested enough time to find it, to share it with others. If anybody has, please comment so that we can share it with the others. Okay, so let me go back to home. So that's what we did. We went to the templates. We found a template by searching using some keywords, and then we just modified it. But what if you want to create everything from scratch? What if you want to, what if you have that mindset that I want a blank slate and I want to put things one at a time? Okay, in that case, you would simply click on the create button, and you have to then choose one of those dimensions that you want, because it's very important when you're designing. Do you want a square shape because you want to post it on Instagram, for example? Or you want a slightly rectangular shape because you want to post it on Facebook, or you want to post it on YouTube? So depending on the dimensions, you can select one of these formats, like Instagram post, landscape, or a flyer, or an A4 size flyer, and so forth. There are all these options available. Or you can specify exactly what is the dimensions you want. So if you go at the bottom here and you see custom size, it allows you to define the width and the height of your design. So for example, my favorite size happens to be 1080 pixels by 1080 pixels, a perfectly square design. And of course, if this drop down shows you what you are measuring in. Right now I'm measuring it in pixels, but you could create a design in inches, millimeters, or centimeters. If you have specific idea of printing it on a certain size, then you could choose the other types of measurements. But I am going right now with pixels, 180 by 180, a square design. And you'll get a blank square. That's it. This is how it will look. On the left-hand side, you still have the option to choose templates. Or, because this is a Canva Essentials session, I want to show you what is all of these features that are on the left-hand side so you understand them. Okay. The first thing is you have this blank slate, and you want to start with a background, either white, which is the default, or you could use one of the brand colors of Toastmasters. You click on this color here. And once again, if you have gone to the effort of creating the brand kit, assuming you have a pro account, or if you don't, you will simply type the number here on the top. Like blue, we know is 004165. How do I know it is 004165? Because it's mentioned in the brand manual. So I will simply click it like this. That's how you set the background. Then you start playing with, on the left-hand side, the next thing is called elements. Elements is shapes that you can use to make your flyer more interesting. So click on elements and you can find different kinds of elements. There is shapes, there is graphics. We are interested in this example, shapes. So you have lines, you have squares, you have circles. You can simply click on any shape, use your mouse to move it around. You can hold your mouse on any of the corners and make it bigger or smaller, like this. Just because it's a circle doesn't mean you have to have the circle on your flyer. You can take part of the circle to make it interesting, and then click on this to give a shape, a color to your shape. So the color could be, so the color could be any of your brand colors. Just click on them, or if you don't have the brand kit, just keep a small piece of paper with all the color codes next to you so that you can simply type the color codes in this box over here. So that's how you will play with shapes. You'll go to elements, you'll select the shapes that you are interested in and move them around. To start creating your design, okay? Then we have text on the left-hand side. And text can be of 3 types. By default, we have heading, subheading, and body. So if you want a heading type of text, click on it, and you will get a text box. You can move it around, resize it, and type whatever you want inside it. Right. So this is how you will start building your flyer by putting the text. You can have text of, and here you will pay attention to the fonts. What font are we using? Because Toastmasters has specific fonts that we should use when we are creating flyers. I don't want to get into the branding part of it, but we should know that when it comes to the main font that we want, what we call the primary font, Toastmasters uses a font called Gotham, right? That's the name of the font. But most Gotham is a paid font. So for us clubs, if we want to use a similar font, then the equivalent of Gotham is the one which I'm currently using actually. It's called Montserrat. So we can use either Gotham or Montserrat for our headings. And then for subheadings, the recommended font from Toastmasters is called Mediate Pro. Also, Mediate Pro is a paid font. So when you are not willing to pay for a paid font, then Toastmasters allows us to use a font called Source Sans Pro. So these are the 2 fonts that we can use. Gotham for your headings, Source Mediate Pro or Source Sans Pro for your body. So in this case, if you want to change the font, you can click here and find all the fonts that are available. There are hundreds of them, but we shouldn't use any of them when you are creating Toastmaster content. Okay, I was just looking at a comment from a friend, my friend Dinesh. He was saying that I clicked on a black color element, but we can see this element was displaying as maroon color, which I changed to yellow. I don't know what happened, but hopefully everything is fine now. So coming to fonts and understanding that these are the two fonts that we can use, there is two additional fonts that are allowed to be used on special occasions. And one is called Corinthia, and the other one, I forgot the name. I have to refer to my brand manual. But those are only for exceptional cases. Most of the time, you should be using Montserrat if you're using Canva, and Sans Sans Pro for your body. Okay. Then we come to the logo. Ideally, you should upload the logo and keep it here. Okay. Or if you have a pro account, then you would load it in the brand kit and keep it here so that you can easily access it. And then choose one of the logos and move it around. It is generally recommended that the logo to be on the top left corner. Not necessary, but it can be here, it can be down here, and here also. Or even in the center, there is no hard and fast rule. As long as the logo is prominent in your flyer. And the second part is that you should not alter the logo in any way. And the third part is you should give some breathing space around the logo. So if you want to keep the logo too close to the borders, it means it doesn't have any breathing space. Or if you have the logo and then you put your text too close to it, also it wouldn't be recommended because we want the logo to stand on its own. So we have identified colors, fonts, logo, and the only thing remaining is image, photos. So let me change this title to say and keep it here. And let's say we have additional text. And now finally we are talking about images. Images, you would ideally use images of your club members or photos that you have taken at events in Toastmasters showing people engaged in leadership activities, communication activities. So let's click on the brand. And if you see here the photos, these are all, as I mentioned to you earlier, these are all the Toastmaster photos that are allowed for us to be used in any PR material that we create. So click on the photo and use it like this. But generally, I think when you are creating content, you need to create or show photos that really reflect the club. And the best way to do that is to share photos of your club members or photos of your club meetings. So whoever is looking at this content, they know if when they come for this club meeting, what are they going to get? So you would do that by uploading here on the left-hand side and choosing from photos that you have in your library. So let me choose one photo. Okay. Now, generally, if you want to showcase people, and let me put another photo just side by side just to give an example. Let me pick up, sorry, this is already. Okay. I'm going to show you two examples, right? This is a photo of an individual member. This is a photo of two people. And why I loaded these two images is because I wanted to show you some features of Canva. So if you want to, let me bring another photo, just. Okay. I think this is a good example of what I'm trying to achieve. So one of the features of Canva is, as I was explaining earlier, is something called the background remover. So if you just want to focus on the person, you can click on this BG remover and it will remove the background. And now you have a photo that you can use independently. You can, if you want to eliminate some part of it, you can do something called crop with the small crop icon here. And you can remove, let's say, something like this. You can make the photo cropped. And you have a photo like this without any distracting background. The other interesting AI feature that I wanted to show you is in Canva, we have something called, if I click on this edit button, we have all this AI-based image editing features. And one of the interesting ones that I have found recently is something called magic layers. Let me show you what it does. So it has done something very interesting. It has found, it has not changed the photo in any way, but let me just move this text out of the way so that you can, and let me make it a little bigger. What it has done is it has found different objects inside this picture. So what I can do is I can literally just remove one of the objects out from this photo and keep the rest as it is. If I just want to bring them closer, I can do that. That's pretty wild in my opinion, because the photo has not changed, but you have moved the objects around. And yeah, I think it's pretty. So in this case, for example, this is the TV part, right? This is the TV. What I can do is I can, for example, crop part of the TV and keep like something like this. So the bottom part is gone. So this is a pretty powerful editing feature available. Unfortunately, of course, only for Canva Pro, but I think this is very interesting. I wanted to show it to you. Thank you, Wild Oat Toastmasters. Luxurious is the other special font that I had forgotten when I was talking about fonts. So we have Corinthia and Luxurious as the special fonts that you can use for certain occasions, like say club birthdays, or you want to celebrate the accomplishment of one of your members. So this could be the font that you use. Thank you for that. Now, before I leave, let me remove all this clutter because I want to focus on creating content. So let me bring up my original design I had created. Good. And there are the other few things that I wanted to explore for you all is that we have on the left-hand side something called apps. And the most useful app that you might find in this is this QR code generators. In fact, there are a couple of them. If you search on top here, search Canva apps, and if you say QR code, you will get all the apps that are available to generate QR codes in your flyers. So if you want to have something like, let me choose this one. No, let's do something simpler. So this is where you can just put the link, the URL, let's say, of your Zoom meeting. You put it here and then give a name to it, and it will allow. So today, for example, we have a link to a Zoom meeting, or let's say I want to show the live stream link. So I can, this is the live stream link of the event today, and just click save, and it will generate a QR code that you can resize, and whoever scans this code will take them to the YouTube channel where the live stream is playing. So that is one thing I wanted to show you, because many people, they want to understand how to generate QR codes. The only thing I want to mention is, okay, this is the QR code. And the other thing you might want to do is go back here to apps. No. The other thing I wanted to show you is how we can make links in your poster. So whenever you want to send a flyer to, when you want to post it, and you want to have a link in your poster, then what we can do is we can have, let's go to text. And type some text, let's say link to YouTube, right? And then what we do is we can click here on the top somewhere. Where did it go? Yeah, here, I hope you can see it. Small link icon is there. If you click on this link, then we can type any link like this and click done. So it becomes a link that people can click on. The only thing is, these links will only work if you save the output as a PDF file, not as a picture. What I mean to say is that if you click on the share button on top here, and you can see download. When you click on download, you have options to download as JPG, which is an image, PNG, which is an image. But if you download it as a PDF, then the links will be accessible in the PDF file. So when I click on download, and this is the PDF file, and you can see that the link is active. If I click on this link, it will take me to YouTube. If I scan the QR code, it will take me to YouTube. So this is how we can add additional information of QR codes, links in your flyer. As I mentioned, links will only work if you download them as PDF files, not as PNG or JPG. Okay. Dinesh says it's really a magic to edit the pictures. Yeah, give it a try. Go to any photo and say magic layers and start playing around with the layers. It's very nice. Okay, let me check. We are, all right, 10 minutes more. Are there any other questions from the audience? Can I change the size in the middle of a design? Yes, if you have a pro account. And I know this debate about free and pro, you can do a lot of things if you have pro, and you are restricted if you have a free account. At the end of the day, Canva is a profit-making company, right? So they want to encourage everybody, please pay whatever $11 or $12 they charge per month, and you'll get all these features. You'll get AI, you'll get this magic tools, and you'll get this. But if you're free, then they'll keep reminding you, oh, okay, you can do a basic things, but anything more than that, you need a pro account. It does allow you to change the design in the middle. So let's say I've not yet finished and suddenly I realize, oh, actually, I want it to be not square, but I want it to be, I don't know, so here, if I click on the design, on the left-hand side up here, you have something called resize, which is exactly what it does, what it says it does, right? So it just resizes the image. So when you click on it, it will show you what are the options available to you. Resize to this dimensions, it will give you some recommended dimensions. Or again, once you can give your custom size, right? So I know it was 1000 by 1080 by 1. Oh, this is currently 1080 by 1350. What if I want to make it square? I want to make it also height 1080, right? And I have two. So I have two options. I have copy and resize, or resize design. What does it mean is it will keep, if you say copy and resize, it will make a copy of it and resize. If you say resize this design, it will just resize the existing one, right? So let me try copy and resize so we can compare both of them. And it will say open the square design. So So it has done, this is the square design, and this is my original design. Is it done 100% as I expected? The answer is no. I still have to, after I resize, I might still have to rearrange some of the stuff to make it fit the new dimensions. So I was talking about this Canva Free and Canva Pro, and in fact, in my presentation at the beginning, I did mention Canva for nonprofit. And in fact, I applied for Canva for nonprofit about 5 or 6 years ago, and I still use it. The cool thing about Canva for Pro account is that not only does it give you a Pro account, but it gives you what we call a Team Pro account. That means you can share it with up to 10 other people, which is amazing, right? So this is another option you can try. Especially if you're in UK, I think you have a better chance of getting accepted into the Canva for nonprofit. You can give it a try if you are a district leader or an area director. Just go to Canva for nonprofits. And you can get started for free. There are some eligibility guidelines. You can go through them and submit your application, right? The only thing I would suggest is, and this is my experience, if you're applying for Canva for nonprofit, make sure that your current Canva account generally contains nonprofit stuff, Toastmaster flyers and something like that. So then they know that you really are working for a nonprofit organization. So if you're a VPPR or something, you can try that. And if you're lucky enough to be one of those who get the Canva for nonprofit, please share it with others, clubs, other leaders, so they can benefit from it. This is my suggestion. It's a guided step. You can click on Get Started. It will ask you for your details. You have to explain why you deserve a Canva for nonprofit account. It is quite valuable, by the way, because as I said, you are given 10 licenses. That's worth around $150 per month, right? So they will do a lot of screening before giving you that benefit. So make sure your current Canva account has nonprofit stuff. Fill in as much information as possible explaining how giving a nonprofit account to you will benefit the community. And then you need one additional document called that you actually are working for. Well, you're not work, but you're a volunteer in Toastmasters International. This document, which is 501c3, which is a letter indicating that this is approved nonprofit from US. If you're from US, I think it's much easier. UK also not so. I know many people from UK who get this nonprofit account. Other countries, you can always give it a try. You may get it. If not, reach out to the district. Maybe they have some free accounts that they can share with club VPPRs. I don't know. This is something your district PR team can guide you in. But certainly having a pro account will give you access to all of these tools where you would struggle to do it with a free account. You can still get it done. There's no problem. But it just takes longer time. That's all. So we are reaching the end of my session. I'm just checking there are any question that I can address. So yes, this is a very interesting question. Can you show us how to save this design to share on social media? So let me open my design. Let's make it a little bigger. So when you click on share, in fact, I sometimes get lost. How many options are there to share, right? There are ways you can share this design by, first of all, I showed a very simple option to download, which will download on your computer. You can share on Instagram, but that's not all. If you click on this button, which says see all, you will see so many ways you can share your design. And my only suggestion is go and try them one by one. So if you want to share on Facebook, click on Facebook. If you are logged into Facebook, it will directly post it to your account. Instagram, all the social media. And most important for me is something called a template link, right? Now, let me open a better design. And I hope, actually, I'm using my wife's account, and I hope she doesn't mind sharing one of her designs. But let me go home and share something useful, right? Now, she has invested a lot of time because she's a VPPR, creating this beautiful agenda. So let me make it a little bigger. So she created this beautiful agenda, which looks really impressive. So, okay, I can download it, I can share it with others, but what if I wanted to give somebody else a template that they can just make a copy for themselves and use it, right? So now when you click on share and I click on see all, we have this option here called template link. So when I click on this template link, or by the way, I can directly create a public view link also, but the template link is very useful because what it does is it creates a template by clicking on create template link. And when I copy and paste this, let me post it in the comments. Hopefully you all can see it. Right? So this link, if you all open this, it will take you to Canva and it will give you this template for free. So you can just copy it and start modifying it and make it your own, right? So when you have created something good and you want to share it with others, that's the way to do it. Facebook, click on this, and then it will post it to Facebook. I'm not going to do it because I'm not ready to post this. But that's how you can click on that see all and find all the ways you can share it on different media. Thank you. I'll convey your appreciation to my wife. Yeah, it is a great design. She spent a lot of time on it. All right, so I think it's time for me to hand over to Linda.
Thank you, Kashazan. That was absolutely amazing. Absolutely brilliant tips. And that agenda, absolutely. It'll be all over District 71, I think. But what a fantastic way to actually start our series of masterclasses And again, thank you so much. So we have put, for those of you on StreamYard, we have put the link in for the Zoom meeting, because Kazakhstan is going to do a Q&A session, which will be hosted by Paul O'Mahony. So that's going to happen straight away. So by all means, use the link there. And just to let you know that, again, as I said, this was the first in a series of masterclasses. So we've put the other links and the names of the other masterclasses coming up over the next few months in our WhatsApp group for VPPOrs. So again, Kazakhstan, thank you so much. And we'll see you across on the Zoom link.